Welcome to a new video. Today I'm going to show you an easy DIY solution on how to do a POV grave shot, just like this shot you're seeing right here on screen. You can pull off this shot without digging a hole in the ground that is so big that you can fit a cameraman into it. There's still some digging involved, of course, but not that much. So let's jump right into the tutorial. First up, what do you need for this? You need an empty shoebox, one piece of plexiglass. I had this one which I originally wanted to use to shoot fireworks from up close back in 2015. Never ended up doing it, but it had the perfect size to fit my shoebox. This is something you have to pay attention to. The plexiglass must be big enough to fit the shoebox on top of it. Then you need some gaffer tape or normal duct tape, double-sided tape, and a craft knife or any basic knife for that matter. Oh, and of course you need a shovel for digging, but I guess that's pretty self-explanatory. I got this old one off of eBay because I didn't want to buy a new one because it was supposed to have kind of this rough, rusty feeling and not a shiny new one because that would kind of ruin the mood, I guess. So what to do now? First, you use the knife to cut out the bottom of the empty shoebox. Then you place the box, which is now more like a carton structure thing, onto the plexiglass. Now first, just lightly secure it onto the glass with the tape, and once we're done with that, we're gonna cover the entire inside of the box with double-sided tape. This took around 10 minutes for me. Now I would say be sure to cover every surface on the inside like I did, and also maybe cover the edge of the upper side of the box. But this whole double-sided tape to stick dirt on it, which was what I wanted to do originally, didn't really work out that good, but we're gonna find a way to work around that later. So after we prepared our little construction, it was time to first shoot our basic other shots for the scenes like walking to the place, taking out the shovel, and then basically just a bunch of digging. Now when it comes to shooting the POV out of the grave scene, the good thing is since we have built our fake hole, which doesn't only provide us with a glass cover so we don't have to throw dirt onto our lens, we also have a fake hole so we can just set this on the ground and start filming. We don't even necessarily have to place it in a hole, but if you already have filmed yourself digging a small hole, you could also use that to kind of place it underground. But even if you place it just on the normal ground level, you won't spot that much of a difference that it's just a fake hole and not really deep down in a grave. Now then, how do we actually execute the shot? I had some difficulties when I placed it just above the camera because the field of view was so narrow that it actually just filmed right through the box and you couldn't see the sides. Also, when it comes to the sides, the dirt didn't really stick to the double-sided tape like I intended it to. But again, we're gonna find a way to work around that. So here's how to solve the problem. I actually placed my camera inside of a basket that I originally just had with me for transporting some stuff, and then I placed our construction on top of the basket to give it some height and move it a few centimeters away from the camera, or inches. You don't have to do such a sketchy construction with a basket. You could also use a stand or some apple boxes or basically anything to elevate it from the ground to give it a little bit of space away from the camera. Also, I shot this on a 28mm, just like right now, so pretty wide. The wider the lens you use, the less you have to elevate it from the ground because the more of the fake hole you can see. Don't shoot on something like a 50mm, maybe like around 18 to 28mm, but I wouldn't even go above 35mm. Anyways, then since the dirt I originally wanted to stick on the double-sided tape didn't stick to the double-sided tape, I just used some big chunks of dirt that I dug from the ground and placed them on all four sides of the box. It would be helpful if you have a camera with a flip-out screen or even better, an external monitor to see what you're actually filming, because when the camera is lying on the ground, the screen otherwise would be covered, and then you can just easily use it to align the dirt and have your basic framing of the shot. One thing to pay attention to: be careful if you use a flip out screen or if your camera has a red recording light. Since you're filming through glass is a reflective surface and the entire bottom that you're filming through is covered in the glass, even on the places where there is dirt, the red light or the screen will reflect, so be sure to cover your screen or the red light while you're shooting. You can have it out for the alignment and frame the shot or whatever, but be sure to cover it so that it's not visible if you're doing the shot and you're actually filming. I wanted to use autofocus for this shot, but since it was already pretty dark and there was so much dirt and so little space in front of the camera, I just set a manual focus and it worked out pretty good. The autofocus didn't. And yeah, that's basically it. I hit record and acted out the scene, and that's the end result. One tip I can give you: if it's not possible to cover the entire screen with dirt, like, how can I give you an example? Like, if your box is right here and you have your hole right here, I'm gonna visualize this in post, I hope, and you can see, like, for example, the sky right here because the box is just here. You can also just add a mask in post and maybe make this and this black, or even add a dirt texture so that it looks like you're entirely underground, but that's of course up to you and just basically a fix. If you can't do it on set, don't get it right. I hope this was clear and you did understand it. maybe not, but maybe you know what I mean. But anyways, that's it from this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to hit the like button and also consider subscribing for more amazing filmmaking tips, tricks, tutorials just like this one. If you want to watch the music video this effect is from, you can watch it by clicking right here on the side. It should be linked right here. You can subscribe right here. You can watch last week's video right here. I showed you 5 trippy effects from this music video. And yeah, I will hopefully see you in the next video. Goodbye.